Good evening and welcome to WANA Live, the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick. This here's your other host.
Christina Fasonic. So I don't know about you, Damian, but it is rather windy out here in this 72-degree February 9th day in northern Appalachia. I don't know how the rest of Appalachia is faring, but up here it's t-shirt weather.
Yup, it reminds me more of southern Mississippi than northern Appalachia.
Yeah, I was thinking like a night in Puerto Rico. It's on the ocean. We might as well be in San Juan. Anyways, so tonight we have a new writer, of course, on the show. And actually, he's been on the show before.
I was going to say, I remember this gentleman.
Yeah, so let me tell everybody about our writer tonight. Byron Hoot was born and raised in Morgantown, West Virginia. Go Mountaineers, and lived there until he went to college. He never returned to West Virginia, but he never left it. Appalachia, the hills and streams, the people, his memories of those first 18 years are deeply embedded. Now he lives in northwestern Pennsylvania, still in Appalachia, of course. He is a co-founder of the Tamarack Writers, founded in 1974, winner of the 2022 Rattle Ekphrastic Challenge, proprietor of hootandhowpoetry.com, where you can find Piercing the Veil, The Art of Grilling, Monster in the Kingdom, Such Beautiful Scents, Poems from the Woods, In Our Time, These Need No Title, and Observations. And his new book, Poems of a Mad Hunter and Other Tales. They're all available from Amazon. So are we ready to bring Byron on the show?
I'm ready.
All right, here he is.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the opportunity to read.
Nice to be back.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so are you ready?
More or less.
Okay.
More or less. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah.
All right.
We'll be back.
We're going to disappear.
Thank you. There'll be 3 poems tonight. The book, Poems of the Mad Hunter and Other Tales, is divided into 3 sections. Meditations from a Tree Stand, first one. Poems of the Mad Hunter is the middle one. And Reading Sign is the third one. The first poem is, What Will I Remember? What will I dream about? The last shot of the day, the season, at 4 o'clock when 3 deer came out of the sun across the top of the hill, heading towards the tree stand I had found. They came and stopped, then moved, taking them out of the sunlight, put them more into it. I drew on the first, but the last one started to raise her tail, move her ears and stomp. I shot too soon, stayed still, but could not reload fast enough. They walked away across the upper bowl of the valley. I never hunt without learning something. I have already dreamed and seen the scene a dozen times. It will stay with me until next season to see if I will know any more then than I did the other day, the last shot, when deer walked away. The second poem comes from Poems of the Mad Hunter. The title of that section actually comes from Wendell Berry's Mad Farmer poems, a favorite author of mine. We know. There are men and women who do not miss the grace of first light, the seductive sigh of dusk, who feel the land and trees and sky as well as they see what moves and flies across their eyes, who tell stories, draw characters in detail, often end with some common sense benediction they're not afraid to utter, nor are others embarrassed to agree. They use language unfit for church, but do not feel hypocritical, though the sanctuary and love of the woods makes a church pew hardly bearable. In groups or singularly, we all lumber into the woods as quietly as we can in pre-dawn light, knowing the essence of hunting, mixed with all we know. is basically ambush, being ready without knowing when the moment will be right. Down below, any refusal to know confuses the work world when an answer is sought. We'll see are the only words to be uttered, understood only in their exact patience in the woods. When language is caught in acts, words crumble, and every hunter I know has this silent vocabulary full of meaning that unnerves those whose words are full of definitions and their acts empty. I have never known a hunter who did not have a sense of beauty, a love for nature. No redneck, hicks, or terms that do not matter. You can never carry words like that into the woods, where every tree and stream and bird and animal and sky and breeze and hunter fit exactly where they are. The final poem, which is the final poem tonight and the final poem in the book, is titled The Promise of Deer in Late Summer. The promise of deer in late summer, early fall remains, though seeing them gets harder, their willingness to be seen less true. They have not yet hit the rut, that recklessness that exposes bucks to hunters in ways their summer sightings, early fall groupings do not. I know there's no love involved, only that mad urge to procreate, to get to that state of rutted out, to fall back in exhaustion to that cautionary life that bucks live in most of their lives. But that intense recklessness is something I would possess, take like medicine in small doses, to fill blood gorge with the lust for life and the wild confidence of doing what is mine to do, and then disappear safe in some tangled underbrush that can't be seen into. And that is the last poem of Poems the Mad Hunter.
Thank you, Byron. Oh, thank you for holding that up. I was going to, ask you. So that this book has just come out. Is that right?
November.
November. So it's been out a little bit. Where can people find it?
Amazon. It's on Amazon. Published by Quigley, Cheshire, and Pickford Indie
Okay.
Press.
Super cool. Super cool. I really your love for the outdoors and this really comes through in this book. This meditative quality about being in this space and doing this. What I would say for the narrator, the sort of persona is this very sacred thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's one single kill scene in this book. It is there's so much more to hunting than taking the deer, although that's important. But what leads up to it and what you sense in the woods takes you back and down into a knowledge and understanding that is not present among buildings and concrete and streets. It's a real move back into a deeper level of understanding, as I understand it. That's what I hope is mostly conveyed. I mean, this is no argument or apology for non-hunters to become hunters. It's not that at all. This is my experience of over 40 years of hunting, and longer than that in the woods. I've been in the woods since 8 years old, by myself mostly. So it's a love, it's a sacredness, it's a sanctuary, it's a holy place, it's the holy of holies. It's all those things to me, and hunting brings that edge out.
Really. Oh, go.
No, I was thinking about, when I was reading your book over the weekend, because you kindly sent a copy to me, and I was thinking about being a little girl and not ever wanting to kill an animal ever, but I went hunting with the men in my family just because I wanted to be in the woods and I wanted to be with my grandfather because I loved him so much. And it was such a meaningful place for him. And so even though my objective wasn't to kill anything, it was to be there in that place that meant a lot to him. And he did, of course, shoot things while we were in the woods together, and that was our dinner. So but I kept thinking about how happy I was that he was willing to share that quiet place with a chatty little girl who just wanted to, you know, sit on his laps in the blind or something, you know what I mean? And how, you know, it reminded me so much of him and how much I missed that time. And if he was still here, you're damn right I'd go out into the woods with him and sit in his blind and talk to him while I'm supposed to be quiet. So, yeah.
That's one of the things that this collection of poems tries to convey, is that fellowship which occurs among a group of people, men and women, when they go to the woods. And there are some hunters who go, who I don't hunt with, wouldn't hunt with, and I don't consider them hunters because they're there for other reasons. Mm-hmm. To show their marksmanship, to show the latest technology of rifle, scope, a bow. And to me, that misses the point. I mean, I always want to take a deer. I'm a hunter. But the whole process of getting that deer and being in the woods is something else. Some people may not realize hunting is a 25% success rate. You don't do something in which you're only guaranteed a 25% chance of getting it done unless you have some love for what you want to do. And hunting is one of those things.
I like the in the final poem you talked about the deer and their recklessness and their desire to get back to the state of rutted out, and I really love that as a piece of psychological business. You know, it feels like it's very portable. That we all would like to get back to the state of being rutted out.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, deer are very solitary creatures, especially bucks. And they waste their energy. They don't waste it, but they use their energy during when does are in heat, and then they disappear. They go back to the woods. They're not brave because they look so majestic, but they don't look for trouble. You know, so they do their thing with reckless abandonment, which oftentimes puts them in harm's way for hunters, and then they disappear. And that seems appealing to me, that to do something with that wild confidence, I think I call it, of doing what is yours to do.
Very cool.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Byron, for sharing your work with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
No,
yeah, it was great to have you on again. That was awesome.
Now, is this book also for sale at a bookstore in central Pennsylvania as well?
Did we lose Byron? Is he still there? I can hear something. I think we lost our connection. I blame the winds. I blame the winds. The winds are so high here.
No, I'm gonna answer for Byron. I strongly suspect one could buy this book at the Watershed Bookstore.
I 100% believe that. Absolutely.
Yes, that's true.
There we go. Yes. Restoration. All right. Well, we better get off the air before the wind blows us away. So thanks again, Byron, for being on. And
Damien, thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Do you recall who we have next week?
Yeah. We are really excited. We have got Nancy Corbell. She's going to be reading with us at 8 o'clock next Thursday, so please tune in.
Yes, we'll see you all next week. Have a good night. Don't get blown away out there, friends.